I'm Debbie Holloway with Crosswalk.com, and today we're speaking with Carolyn Weber about her new book, Holy is the Day, from InterVarsity Press.
This particular book, I never anticipated writing more memoir, but after I wrote Surprised by Oxford, I really enjoyed that process and the conversations that led to, and we left our jobs in California and Seattle and the security of our communities and our positions there. I left a tenured position and whatnot to come back to my hometown in Canada to be closer to my family here and to have some local ministry here and to spend more time on the parenting and the writing. And initially we came just for a year or so at first, and then we had our surprise dessert baby, number 4. And it was during the process of that pregnancy actually where I was really called to stretch in new ways before God, and also in that giving up to follow in what we were hopefully prayerfully trying to really do, led to me writing another memoir, but much more in the immediate, in the present, and about trusting in the present. So that's what resulted in this book.
Well, this isn't a 5-step to change your life or this is how to make your life better book. This is a memoir. And so for your readers, what do you hope your readers will take out of this book?
It's a big distinction between a how-to book and memoir. Because you don't want to tell anyone how to live their life based on your own. But I know what I took away from just the process itself that I would pray that others would, is simply really learning from the trusting experience itself of trusting our God. Not so much testing our God, but trusting our God and trying to learn that discernment. It also taught me really much more about the nature of prayer. I had heard the notion before of, praying without ceasing, of course, as we're told to do, but had never really grown up with the notion of prayer as a ritual or as a discipline, or even as really an avenue to go to without really thinking about it. And instead, I really met Christians that have a prayerful life as though they're breathing. They go to it as a natural way to address a problem or to cast their worries or to talk to God about anything. And I've really learned and grown through that process myself. So in many ways, the writing of the book was like a prayer walk. But also I would hope that people would take away from the book that trusting of God and that process of prayer and that sense that He does ultimately have a plan for all of us, and it's not for calamity, and to be trusting in that hope, really.
A lot of that, it sounds like stuff that you've learned from writing memoir, or what someone, maybe a Christian, could learn from writing memoir. What could your readers learn about faith or about themselves from reading a memoir? Is it any different?
Yes, I think that's a really important distinction, because when you're writing your own memoir, you're paying attention to how God is creating this story, and you're putting together the pieces of things that you've been attentive to, have noticed, and hope that they will have meaning in and of themselves to others. But I love reading other folks' memoirs because it opens my eyes to not only things they have struggled with and problems they have solved or brought before God, but also in just the various ways that all of our stories glorify Him. And even if it's a non-believer's memoir, I really identify with their struggles and questions. I've been sort of on both sides of the fence, so to speak. I've sort of walked through the looking glass myself. And I think that all of those are not only valid points of view, but important points of view for us to be aware of as believers. Just as I would encourage a non-believer to read a believer's memoir. I was really shaped and moved before I was a Christian by reading memoirs by Christians. Such as the Knockins or Lewis's and whatnot. And so I think that there's a way in which we can open each other's hearts and minds to God's presence and active being in our lives through each other's words that way, and paying attention to each other's stories.